This is the story of Sydney Children's Hospital Randwick and its remarkable journey to becoming one of Australia's leading paediatric hospitals.
All these achievements are entirely due to the amazing colleagues of all disciplines and their shared dedication to a common purpose. I often have said, and we all agreed, children first and foremost. That was our guiding light.
The Randwick site evolved from a children's home to a military hospital long before it became an independent service dedicated to caring for babies and children. Today, we are part of Sydney Children's Hospitals network, and at Randwick alone, support more than 300,000 patients in the hospital and community every year.
The thing that I love about looking after children the most is the way they are so courageous in the face of illness and injury. They serve as a daily reminder about what matters most in life, and to be able to support them on their illness and wellness journey is really an honour and a privilege.
And the staff really respond to that, and it is inspiring amongst the team. We feed on that and we build that within the community of Sydney Children's Hospital, and it feeds through every aspect of the hospital.
The hospital's origin goes back to 1858 with the Randwick Asylum for Destitute Children, home to children under the state's care. From there it grew. The Catherine Hayes Hospital opened in 1870 to treat children suffering from illness, poverty and famine. The campus was converted into a military hospital in 1915 during World War I. In the following decades, the army huts were refurbished to house paediatric beds.
The army huts were set up with a series of rooms that were probably 15 by 15, say, and with a desk at one end and a couple of open bays near the desk so that you could isolate children who might have something contagious.
From a modest facility, the service evolved into Prince of Wales Hospital in 1953. Then came the pioneering efforts of the late Professor John Beveridge. In 1962, he became the clinical director of the Prince of Wales Children's Hospital.
My husband was a dedicated, determined, hard-working, long-working person. The establishment of the whole organisation and the hospital were his legacy, really. The fact that he brought in people, all the best people that he could find to work here.
Recognising the need for a dedicated children's hospital, Professor Beveridge advocated for a second building, which was established in 1976.
John Beveridge and the people he recruited, the founders, were role models, mentors and inspirational friends. They were exemplary pioneers of caring for children and families. Everything that happened after that was built on the shoulders of those giants.
Then named the Prince of Wales Children's Hospital, staff worked across new inpatient wards, outpatient services and teaching facilities. Importantly, the hospital enabled more parents to be by their child's bedside.
All the parents loved it. It was a big game changer in the way we delivered care. And it's not just about that importance of the child-family relationship. It gave us a chance to actually bring parents in to be part of the care team.
In 1977, the foundations were laid for a patient retrieval service, now known as the Newborn and Paediatric Emergency Transport Service, or NETS.
The impact that NETS had on regional and rural patients was significant because help to stabilise young children and babies who needed respiratory support in particular was able to be started on the arrival of the team instead of after a trip on an ambulance from wherever they were.
With all of you, We've raised $33.4 million tonight.
The hospital's main charity partner, Sydney Children's Hospitals Foundation, was formed in 1986 from the spark of an idea between Professor Beveridge and his wife Libby. Since then, the foundation has raised more than $330 million for children's health services.
A real testament to the generosity and leadership of John Beveridge and his wife Libby Beveridge to ensure that children at Randwick had access to cutting-edge research, to new treatment and therapies, to the best equipment and the best facilities.
Further growth came in 1993 when the New South Wales government committed to a $160 million upgrade of the Randwick campus. 3 years later, Sydney Children's Hospital was gazetted in Parliament, the milestone marked on the steps of the Sydney Opera House.
It just seemed to grow, and the children coming grew, and we just got bigger and bigger. I think that was an amazing thing to actually watch and be part of that process and part of planning that process and planning departments that could meet the needs of the children.
The independents saw more specialist units open and a renewed focus on holistic health, including programs to support Aboriginal families and children.
I wanted to be an Aboriginal health worker because when I became a single mother, there weren't a lot of services around to help. I saw a lot of kids go right through school because I'm from the community, so I lived in the community, and probably I'd say related to maybe half of them, 60% of them. So it was a good feeling too.
The 1990s brought more fun and laughter through the hospital's halls and saw the establishment of the hospital school.
How do you keep kids happy? And of course we have the wonderful parents and their families doing a great job, but we wanted to add more. And so people like Starlight, they didn't exist before. And they all came into play in the new building design.
At Sydney Children's, it's party day. We're gonna put on our dress-ups and celebrate.
Party Day was created to brighten spirits, with a day of dress-ups and decorations still celebrated to this day.
It was just fantastic. It was just such a wonderful, fun day, and everybody embraced it. The executive unit embraced it. Everybody embraced it, and the kids just adored it.
Many patients also adored welcoming celebrity guests, from actors, sports stars and performers to royalty, including Queen Elizabeth II. Together, the hospital also celebrated significant medical milestones and research firsts.
We've seen many research firsts at Sydney Children's Hospital. One example is the first delivery of gene therapy to children with spinal muscular atrophy. This is a disease where children would have died by 8 months of age, but now they're running around at the age of 2.
Sydney Children's became the first hospital in Australia to perform a successful bone marrow transplant and double cord blood transplant for a child. The hospital became home to the largest integrated children's cancer and research centre in the Southern Hemisphere, further supported by the Minderoo Children's Comprehensive Cancer Centre.
MQuadC is a fantastic example of how we integrate research into clinical care. And for us, it's that connection between the hospital, the medical research institutes and the university that's all on our doorstep.
The Randwick and Westmead hospitals became a network in 2010. Together as a network, we've treated hundreds of thousands of patients, led global clinical trials and pushed the boundaries of medical research. All thanks to the tireless efforts of dedicated staff, partners and volunteers like Helen and Esther.
It's wonderful to see that they're grown up and the parents come and say, do you remember? Here she is, or here he is, and these wonderful children, and they're well.
And we were responsible for helping it all along in a way at times, and there have been some very sad times as well. But generally speaking, I'd say it's been exceptionally satisfying.
In 2019, the New South Wales and federal governments announced a multi-million-dollar redevelopment at Randwick.
The building provides the amenity. The facility provides the infrastructure where clinicians, researchers and educators can come together in one space. What that does is allow for collaboration, and when those great minds come together, that's when magic happens.
Patients like Austin watched as Randwick's new building grew from the ground up.
At the start, it was not much, it was just a bit of a hole in the ground, then we watched them pour the cement, bring in all the machinery, so that was just something interesting to watch out my window as I got better.
At age 13, Austin, a talented athlete, suffered a spontaneous spinal cord stroke and underwent significant therapy to regain the ability to walk again.
When I was first able to walk again and get back to being out of the wheelchair, it was definitely, it was something that I'd worked hard towards, so I definitely felt very accomplished. It made me feel better than anything prior, any sporting achievements or academic stuff. Like that was the best, most proud I'd ever been of myself.
The newest Sydney Children's Hospital building will allow us to transform the care we provide to all babies and children.
And that just provides a springboard, really, for moving into the new building, new models of care, new technology. You know, it can only get bigger and better from here. And we're so fortunate to have staff who have the skills and expertise that make this the best healthcare service for children that you could possibly have.
The new clinical and research facilities, family spaces and technology build on our proud history as we look towards an even brighter future.